Hey everyone, Cap Mac here. I'm just going to give you a little quick orientation to our new radios. At the time of this recording, the new radios are on Tower 831 and the battalion cars. We'll be getting them out to the rest of you as soon as possible. But we're going to cover a couple of things here. So the first part here, I'll go over the basic radio controls, and then we'll get into some battery stuff. I'm going to talk about riding positions. That'll affect how we move forward, especially with turning the SCBA Bluetooth link on. And then we'll talk about taking good care of these radios so they're available to us for the long haul. All right, so getting into it, let's start with the microphone here. It's a little bit lighter than our old microphone. It's made by Otto for Harris. The first thing I want you to look at is the top here, this red button, emergency button. It has no function. It only works as a emergency button, and those are problematic for radio systems and for people in the field, so it's not enabled. The second button that I want you to notice is this toggle here. Up at the top it says high, at the bottom it says low. That is affects your total volume, and in the low position it is not good for emergency scenes, loud places, or anything like that. So you want to make sure on your daily check that that's in the high position. Coming over to the top here on this crown, these two notches are your main microphones. On the back side, there's a microphone for the noise canceling. That's not turned on at this time. We're going to run with the physical noise canceling for now. It's important, though, that your mouth or where you're speaking is about 2 inches or less from the microphone, and you're going to want to speak directly into the microphone. So if you're talking across the microphone, like if it's on your shoulder, that's not going to be as much sound pressure. And in noisy environments, that may be giving you some trouble. All right. And then last but not least, the push to talk. Okay. Coming on over here to the radio. This radio is made by Harris, and it's called the XL200. They have a lot of functionality, including being capable of multiple bands, and that was part of what we needed to work with JPD on when we selected this radio. All right, looking up at the top, some things are going to be kind of familiar. This is the on-off and volume control. This is the channel selector. This ABC bezel does nothing. It's problematic. In fact, our police friends are having trouble with that. And then change, we used to have a lock lever here. Now our lock is this bezel underneath the on-off switch. And if I'd like you to think of this in a positive light, if you turn this radio on with a gloved hand, you're very likely to lock it, and that's to your benefit. All right. These radios are really computers, and our old radios were pretty good, but they were no longer made anymore, and we couldn't get parts for them, so we had to get a new radio. So this radio takes a little bit longer to boot up as a kind of a waterproof computer in your pocket. So I'll turn it on, and you'll see the greeting come up saying where it goes.
Zone 1, Channel 8.
All right, so then when you hear the zone and channel, you should be good to transmit and receive. Okay, so those are the top controls. One thing that's new now is we have a top
Channel 1.
A top display.
Channel 2. Channel 1.
Oh, I gotta take it out of scan for this part of the show. The scan button here is on the side. It's about a hard 3 count. and 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, and then you'll see scan disappear. So going back to the top display, when you're not in scan, many or most of the channels in our main zone are color coded. Hopefully that helps you as you're doing your work. But nothing,
Channel 2.
the channel lineup has not changed
Channel 3.
from our old radios
Channel 4.
in the #1 zone.
Channel 5. Channel 6. Channel 7. Channel 8. Channel 9. Channel 10. Channel 11. Channel 12. Channel 13. Channel 14. Channel 15. Channel 16.
All right. So the all those colors follow those channels through all the banks. If you have a green color on your top display, you're not scanning and you are on Janesville Fireground. So that's kind of the top. Once again, emergency button is disabled because it's not friendly to us. We've gone over the scan button. That is, once again, a hard 3 count, and that display will come on. Scanning, our scan list is Rockfire Main, Rockfire Paging, Rockfire Central, and Janesville Fireground. And then whatever other channel you're on will be added to that list. So we'll come back out of scan. Scan goes away right there. These yellow buttons are our zone up and down. So
Zone 2.
familiar yourself
Zone 3.
and get familiar with the
Zone
zones again.
4. Zone 3. Zone 2.
All right. One thing I really want you to know, especially in Zone 2, especially if we're going up to Edgerton for whatever reason. Once again, 16, Janesville Fireground, all the way down our programming. The #1 spot, Rockfire Main, all the way down our programming. In Janesville Fire 2,
Channel 15.
we have Rockfire North Direct. That's the talk around, or the car-to-car for the North repeater up in Edgerton. And then
Channel 14.
Rockfire South Direct. That's the talk around or car-to-car for the repeater down in Beloit. That's a change, and I want you to know that's there
Channel 16.
early on before we do any other training. Okay.
Channel 11.
All right. So here I am on channel 11 in Zone 2. So the first button I want to talk to you about here is the Bluetooth button. The Bluetooth button is here so you can turn Bluetooth off if you ever have a problem with Bluetooth. I hope that we are able to train effectively and not have problems, but that's what that's there for. If you have a problem with Bluetooth and you are using your SCBA, you should be able to turn that off. Okay. The second button here in the middle, that's set up to turn voice announcement on or off, and that's about a 2 count, 1000, 2 1000, and it doesn't give you any indicator on the display that is gone. But if I come back 1 1000, 2 1000,
Channel 12. Channel 11.
that voice comes back. And this last button over here, the fixed preset, that's set to Rockfire Main in Zone 1. So if I push that.
Zone 1. Channel 1.
Okay, so then what we need to know about that, though, I was about halfway through the dial there when I pushed that button. So electronically, the radio is in Zone 1, Channel 1. But if I move this dial one way or the other,
Channel 10.
all right, and then I go back,
Channel 11.
right? So the dial will get back into sync once you turn it, even though I went to Rockfire Main.
Channel 1.
Okay.
Channel 12. Channel 11.
Very good. All right. So then the last bit, there's not going to be a lot to do in this keypad for a while until we start really working with Bluetooth. And then there'll have to be some more orientation, but we're not going to do that right away. But in that instance, that's why we're going to want the channel lock on most of the time to keep us out of trouble with that. Okay? Alrighty, so we're going to set that there for a minute. So, battery use and maintenance. The new chargers will be coming out, but the battery on this one is very easy to take in and out. There's two kind of clips to give a little pinch to, and the action of taking it in and out is a rock. So you can see where it kind of slides in here and just gently rocks in place, and it's quite secure. If you pull on it, it does not want to go. This is not going to fall out on you. So to take that out, you're going to want to rock it in and out. Okay. These batteries have about twice the capacity of our old batteries, but this radio uses more power than our old batteries. So we're going to figure out how long our real run times are. I've done pretty good on multiple days, but once again, like our old batteries, if you are out training all day with your battery on, if you go on multiple calls where you're doing a lot of tactical transmissions, be aware. Take a look at your battery, and if it's halfway down by 4 in the afternoon, it's time to change that battery. This is still a battery that's designed around an 8-hour duty cycle, and if you have a busy 24-hour shift, you may need to change that battery. Okay. I'm going to talk a little bit about riding positions. These radios, our old radios were numbered 1, 2, 3, 4 numerically for portable radios. This will be the same thing now, but when you look at that greeting that comes up, it'll have a little more information. So especially on the fire apparatus, think about the number 1 radio being the officer, the number 2 radio being the driver, and the number 3 radio specifically being the firefighter behind the officer, and the number 4 radio being the firefighter behind the driver. We'll have to work out the relationship between the driver's air pack and their radio through the training and equipment committees, but this is going to be the starting point. This is going to be really important as we get into the Bluetooth portion of what we are. The last little bit here is talking about taking care of our radios. Over the past few years, and really since most people on the line have gotten a radio holster with a strap over their shoulder, we've started having increases in the number of broken antennas. Some of them are swinging out and getting jammed into doors. You can see a shear line where antenna goes into a door jam. But the other problem is that folks are putting their leather radio strap underneath their firefighting ensemble. Then they're strapping their SCBA on and getting the antenna jammed underneath the waistband of their SCBA. And then as they move and they work, they're putting extreme force on this antenna. I mean, this is bad for a couple of reasons. The first one is that you're breaking antennas. The second one is that when you do that and you crush your antenna up against your body, that basically halves the radio energy that can come out of here. Half of it, or more than half of it, is absorbed by your body. So why is why was this not such a big problem and now it is? This antenna is about 35 bucks. This antenna is $130 because it does a lot more things. And so on the fire ground, you really need to be using the radio pocket in your turnout gear. If you're practicing bailout drills, you need to be removing your radio and removing your flashlight, removing equipment to protect that equipment when you're training. Certainly not if there's an emergency, but training, there's no reason to be breaking this stuff. Any questions about that, feel free to contact me or any deputy chief. Hey, that's all I have for you right now. Hope you enjoy the new equipment. By all means, get out and check it out, and it will be coming to your station shortly. Thanks for listening.